Looking through the lens, opinions of three friends. Looking through the lens, sometimes they don't make sense.
Welcome back, everyone, to Through the Lens, presented back to you by the Unholy Trinity. That's me, Sun Dude, handsome boy on the right, Zephyros,
Well, yo, what's up?
my guy to my right, Patronus Gold,
Yo.
and today we are watching a movie which has some very historical themes and a very historical fictitious character, Sherlock Holmes, in it. And since we don't have a historian or a literature expert, we got the next best thing. Please give a warm welcome to Supernova.
Hello guys, this is Supernova.
And thank you for coming onto the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
No worries. Now, as I said today, Old English Sherlock Holmes. That's right. Today we are reviewing not Sherlock Holmes,
Yes, I.
Enola Holmes. Now, okay, hold on. So this film was a Netflix release,
Yes.
I think, yes?
Yes.
Jack, do you want to go into that or nah? There's
It
nothing to
was
talk
released
about.
on Netflix, came out September 23rd, 2020.
That's it?
That's all there is for now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. It was directed by Harry Bradbury.
Oh wait, no. Hold on, one more detail. Actually, it was originally meant to be a theatrical release, but
As they all were.
Netflix bought the rights to it in April. Yeah, and it was due to the COVID pandemic.
I
See.
see.
So yeah,
Very
this movie was
interesting.
directed by Harry Bradbury and produced by Mary Parent, Alex Garcia, Millie Bobby Brown, who plays the main actor, protagonist in this film, and Paige Brown.
Right.
This film was based off of a written series of novels by Nancy Springer, based on the same name. I'll read the IMDb. When Enola Holmes, Sherlock's teen sister, discovers her mother missing, she sets off to find her, becoming a super sleuth in her own right, as she outwits her famous brother and unravels a dangerous conspiracy around a mysterious young lord.
Yes.
Yeah, as I said before, starring Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes, Sam Claflin as Mycroft Holmes, Henry Cavill, sexy boy, as Sherlock Holmes,
Hey.
Helena Bonham Carter as Enola's mother, and Louis Partridge as Tewksbury, who is going to be Enola's love interest in this film, along with a bunch of other people.
Quick question.
Yes.
Should I talk in a British accent?
Yes, I.
Oh no.
You want to talk in a
Should we all
British
talk
accent, mate?
in
That's right, guys.
Initial impressions, guys. How do you feel?
Come on. Who's going first? I'll say shit then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eeny,
I felt
meeny,
that,
miny, mo.
This movie was very fun. How do you do British fun? Wait. This movie was a very fun experience. No, I can't fucking do British. Anyway.
Indeed.
Alright, it was a fun
This
movie.
movie was a pretty fun experience.
Pretty fun experience, innit? Now, I really
In a
enjoyed
fam.
the acting and everyone's performance in this movie, as the story was also quite entertaining. Ain't
That is
right?
very true.
Jack.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll go next.
Go next.
British.
Where's some added
I
that?
agree that this
Smoke a
film was
ciggy.
quite decent, mate. It was pretty good. I think that it did bring an interesting new charm and new tone to the Sherlock saga. I think there was a few issues in terms of a bit of the plot being a bit convoluted in the way they combined two different mysteries into one, if you get what I mean. And maybe it was a little bit, the writing for some character dialogue was a little bit weak, but it's a pretty fun film.
You know, you sound
It's
like an
fine.
1800s white woman from Britain.
That's
Which
what
is
I'm
what
going
this
for.
Are you trying to be
Noah.
Enola Holmes?
I am trying to be Enola Holmes, yeah.
So, when I
saw this movie, I didn't feel particularly like it was a good film. As Theo said, it was very fun. I did particularly enjoy watching this film. So yes, what about you, Evan?
Well, I thought the movie was alright. Like I like how Millie Bobby Brown, aka Enola Holmes, like interacted with the audience in some of the scenes.
Love is
Yeah,
love
so
some 4/4 breaking.
it really included the audience into the film. So I liked the film. I think it was alright.
It reminded me of of Blue's Clues, mate.
Yes, mate.
Which
Yeah,
I
bruv.
don't know what it is, but I'll leave that to you
The
guys.
blue detective dog, you know.
No, I don't know, unfortunately. So, how do you feel about the acting in this film? I'll start off. I was in saying I felt the acting was a good thing in this film. It was a strong. I should say it's a strong point of this film. How about you guys?
Yeah.
I do agree. I don't know what
What
accent
the
I'm
fuck
going
is
for.
that?
Hold on, I need to get my British voice back.
You just sounded like you're like holding in You're holding in your tears, bro. Are you alright?
Yes.
Are you alright? Do you need help?
Hold on. How do I do a British again? British.
You don't.
British.
I thought the acting
British.
was pretty good. I mean, it was the strongest point in the film. I think. I think that we got some standout performances from Mr. Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown. Though I do think some of the characters were a bit like I feel like the love interest for Enola Holmes, he was a bit underwritten and a bit cliched, so I couldn't really. I mean, not necessarily the actor's performance; it might have just been the lines. But other than those two, I think the acting was all right. Yes.
Yeah, bruv.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I feel quite similarly to that. Um, yeah, Billy Bobby Brown did a great job in as being playing the main character, and everyone else played quite well as well. I'd say the writing really supports the characters and the acting here, and the kind of what do you call it, interactions with the audience was quite interesting as well. As it kind of feels like a vlog that way.
Oh yes.
Right.
We go onto Enola Holmes' YouTube vlog channel, and all you see is her every day. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're going to be exploring this dead body today. Something like that, yeah?
Exploring a dead
Yeah,
body.
Yeah. Poking with gunpowder.
I see.
Why the hell not?
Yep, the acting was pretty good. I think everyone performed the role really well. And yeah.
Oh yeah, some good stuff from this movie. In which case, let's go on to writing by Jack Thorne. Yes, we had some discussion before, and from my point of view, though, I would say it was good, but slightly cliche. I know Jack
Absolutely.
has some stuff to say about it, so go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say the film did have at least to me, it had the challenge of like, because and I think Sonny, you agree with these sentiments. We're pretty decently big Sherlock fans. I
Visual
watched
media?
the Sherlock show, and it's one of my favorite shows of all time. It used to be my favorite up until a couple of years ago, and yeah, I've seen all of the Robert Downey Jr. movies, and I've read few of the Conan Doyle stories, as well as I think there was like an Anthony Horowitz one that I read as well.
Yeah.
Sufficient to say, yeah.
And I've also
I
read
like-
it. But I think
Interesting.
I've read a complete series of the Sherlock Arthur Conan Doyle stories. So yeah.
Mhm.
As for the other two, I don't know. Have you guys? What about you guys?
Personally, I only watched the Robert Downey Jr. version of Sherlock.
See?
Mate, didn't I harass you to watch the TV show?
Yeah, you might have, but didn't
And you
get to
didn't.
watch it. Eh?
And Supernova?
I haven't actually watched any of the Sherlock Holmes TV shows.
Oh.
So I guess
Oh.
this is my first sort of
Alright. Sorta?
introduction to the Sherlock Holmes, I guess.
Yes.
But all in all, I'd say the film had the challenge of having to like really, because it's very tonally different from the originals. The originals are very dark and like, I mean, they're for adults, whereas this
Well,
is
this
clearly
movie
for like
isn't about
teenage.
Sherlock Holmes. It's about Enola Holmes.
Yeah, which is
Exactly.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. And so with the introduction of this character, Enola Holmes, right? They had to like kind of establish a character that was like believable enough to be in that Sherlock universe and stuff. And honestly, I don't think they did that great of a job with that. So you kind of have to enjoy this film. For me personally, I had to kind of separate it from the original stuff and have it as its, because I think it's good as its own thing. But if you try and connect it to the rest of the, other than like references and like characters popping up and stuff, I think it doesn't really fit within that universe. Yeah.
So a lot of people, through a thing that's been commonly known on the Baker Street Wiki as the Holmesian Speculation. It is basically just, as I quote, the practice of expanding upon the original Sherlock Holmes stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This movie is a great example of it because in the original they never referenced any other of Sherlock Holmes' relatives other than Mycroft. They don't mention his parents, and they don't no mention of any other siblings other than Mycroft. So anything made in Holmesian speculation essentially is not canon to the original stories. So that was the one point in the writing which had to be like emphasized in this movie because obviously, uh, it he never had a sister in the original, so they kind of had free liberty to go along and do what they wanted to with the writing essentially in this film.
Yeah,
At least that's what I thought. No?
Yeah, I'd say, okay, good thing about writing, it's pretty funny. I'd say most of the jokes do land. Um, Negative, very, very cliched. Um, to the point where it's pretty predictable.
All right. I will say about the cliches though. Yes, in this film, while me and Dio were watching it together, I was I was like jumping out of my chairs, like this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I could tell a lot of things were happening 15 seconds or so before it happened, and then like yes, hold it.
But that's like
Now
what's to be
I
expected from this kind of movie, don't you think? It's like a
true,
tongue-in-cheek,
yeah, okay.
fun movie kind of thing. It's not like really a
Fun movie
serious
for the kids.
movie.
Or nah, not for the kids.
Or for
This is for
the general
kids. This is
population.
definitely a kids movie.
Is it for like
try
more
to
like
This
learn.
is what
teens?
like
Let's move on to cinematography, shall we? In which cinematography was done by Giles Nutguns. Nutguns?
Nut.
Nut with a double T.
That's
I
A
don't know.
wooden nut.
Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there, but yeah. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing too flashy,
I like
but it did its job, I think.
the action scenes.
I think it looked good.
Yes, the action scenes were done really well.
Yeah, I think they were actually done pretty. Yeah, that was actually somewhat surprising. Like, it's just gonna be like the usual standard stuff, but they actually did action pretty well, especially in that the sequence in the alley. That's
Yeah.
the best action in the
Yeah.
film, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
It flowed pretty well.
Yeah. Anything to say, Evan?
I do not have anything to add.
All right then. Then you're a minus. So that's all we've got for cinematography. Let's move on to music, done by Daniel Pemberton. Music, it was because it's a fun movie. It had like the uplifting, joy, like kind of, I guess you call it. I don't know how you describe it, but it's just like the upbeat kind of orchestral music. But it fit the film. It fit the upbeat moments, and it got serious when it needed it to be serious. Made the tension for the action scenes work very well.
Mhm.
And yeah, I thought the music was pretty good. How about you guys?
Same.
Thought it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to add?
No.
In which case, we shall move on to
Yes.
editing and visuals, speeding through these. Editing done by Adam Bosman. I will say, in terms of CGI, there are some things left to be decided. Like, you can tell sometimes when, like, a big set piece, for example, is CGI, but it didn't detract too much from the film, in my opinion. How about you guys?
I think definitely when they show like outer zooms of the city and stuff, you can tell that the city's CGI. In terms of editing, I think this actually has a lot of editing stuff. They put like title cards. They'd put
Yeah,
like
they did.
they did this. It was very stylistic. They would put like, I can't describe it. What's, where they put the characters would be there, the little like cutouts of the characters on the newspapers and stuff.
Oh yeah, that is something to go about because it fit the film. It worked very well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my
Yeah,
trivia
but
point.
we'll get
that I
onto that
was
in
gonna-
spoilers, huh?
Yeah.
So you can cut from here.
Yeah.
And is that all we have to say about editing and visuals?
Sure.
Alrighty. In which case, y'all know what time it is. Spoiler zone is not presented to you. Hashtag non-sponsored. We are very sad. So,
Timestamp. I've got a time zone. Timestamp is on the top of the screen.
Time zone is Eastern Australian time.
And
Except for,
Indonesian time is alright.
yeah.
For mine is West Indonesian time.
yes.
Cool stuff.
So, how shall we go about this? Anyone got anything on the tip of their tongue to talk about?
A couple of stuff I want to ask you guys about, and then we can. All right, I'll just ask you a couple of questions. First of all, I think the big thing in the movie, it's a mystery film. How was the mystery?
Yes. For the mystery, I'd say I'd figured the mystery out like about halfway in.
Yeah.
A bit too
That's
I agree.
about it.
Like I figured out about the bill and how that will affect the mother and the fucking Lord guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I basically thought, as soon as I heard that, okay, so I remembered Tewkesbury would have a position in the House of Lords, and I also remembered after that, after seeing like the women meeting, things about women's suffrage,
Feminists, bro.
basically the suffragettes, basically.
Yeah.
If this was just like some like adaptation of the suffragettes, would make sense. Needs a reform bill that needs to be passed. So basically, halfway through the film, in my mind, I was kind of like, oh, it's gonna be a whole bunch of like, it's gonna be like a whole bunch of stuff until Tewkesbury becomes one of the in the House of Lords. He's gonna do the whole thing.
You can say it because
I know, but I don't know how to explain. Like, I'm just illiterate. Don't worry about me.
All good.
But yeah, I had an idea for how this film was gonna play out. In
I
like
thought
45
he
minutes
would
of the
be a
film.
bigger part at the end. Like there would be more things about him trying to like pass the bill or whatever he was trying to change.
Yeah.
But they didn't really focus on that, which
He
I
just
guess
kind of
makes sense.
became. I guess they
That's what I
did
mean by
allude
he
to
was
that
kind
in
of
the film.
underwritten.
Yeah.
Underwritten, yeah. As the film referred to him as a useless boy.
Well, I mean,
So yeah,
They really want to emphasize.
Well, he ain't that useless anymore. Oh wait, yeah. Well,
he made the most
throughout the film,
like,
he was kind of useless.
huh.
Yes, mate. That is
Perhaps we
true.
should talk about some Sherlock Holmes stuff, anyways. I love Lestrade in this film. When he came into the movie, Lestrade, I was like, oh my god, it's fucking Lestrade.
Lestrade.
Yeah, Lestrade.
Lestrade from Scotland Yard, not Lestrade from Scotland Yard.
Yeah. But you know.
I didn't really like him in this film. I thought they made him into like a annoying dude who gets in the way of the plot. You know what I mean? Like he's not.
I know.
Yes.
Well, he was hired by. Well, he was like bribed by the Tewkesbury family.
No, wait.
He was
No,
hired
sorry.
by the
He was
Wasn't it
bribed by Mycroft.
Mycroft?
Yeah.
I thought
And
they kind of didn't do his character justice.
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean?
Except after he was like released from Mycroft's hand of will.
Oh yeah.
as soon as Mycroft like died down a bit, when the whole plot kind of ended, Lestrade became the one guy who's like, "Wow, you're so smart, Sherlock," as he always does in any of that adaptation of Sherlock, I think.
Indeed, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart boy.
Yeah.
All right.
One thing we should all mention: very sad that Watson is not in this film. Fucking
Oh, I
outrageous.
was pissed off, mate. Actually, in fact, it gets -1 point for not having Watson in it, in my opinion. I think that was a bad idea.
Who's Watson?
See, if people like Evan who are new to Sherlock, they won't know who Watson is if they watch this
It's
movie.
just some,
That's how much of a
some other
disservice.
cunt that hangs
Yes,
out with
mate.
Sherlock, mate.
The Conan Doyle estate filed a lawsuit against Netflix over the film, claiming it violates copywriting by depicting Sherlock Holmes as having emotions. Which,
That is
to
true.
be fair, yes, it does. And
Why would
because we see
violate
Sherlock,
copyright? Isn't it in public
Cop-
domain?
like, obviously, it has. They made it clear that this was an adaptation. But
Wait, so
Okay, wait, hold on. So they specifically were suing for because they're saying that the idea of Sherlock having emotion is a copyright within itself, belonging to the Conan Doyle estate between 1923 and 1927, because that's the period apparently that Sherlock was allowed to have emotions, and if they show him having emotions any other
yeah.
times, they'll get sued. So that's
That makes more
interesting.
sense. Do you want to talk about
Just
plot
branching
holes?
off that, I'd like to say, what do we think about this adaptation of Sherlock?
Well, it's not
Being
really
the
a
fact that he
direct
did have
adaptation
emotions and stuff.
of Sherlock, of the Sherlock
Given
Holmes
the fact
story,
that this
though.
is based on another person's perspective and it's another person's story, don't think this version of Sherlock should have aroused any kind of bad feelings. Because in the times that we do see Sherlock, calm and collected, as he always is, and you even see some Holmesian deduction, which is what it's referred to as,
A little bit, yeah.
a little bit, but where needed. So yeah,
I agree.
I would say this version is more, as you said, accurate to the version of where Sherlock had emotions.
Yes.
But yeah, anything else to add?
He's also a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
Yes, mate.
I thought
Also,
he would.
wholesome.
Yeah,
Go on. I was
I
gonna say he was a
like,
wholesome guy, yeah, but go on.
Alright.
Sorry.
like I thought he would be presented as like a more like cool, like emotionless person.
Like Benedict Cumberbatch, basically.
Yeah, like because like that. Even though I haven't watched the other Sherlock Holmes films, but like that's what I thought of him as someone who never watched him. Like,
Yeah.
but like this film, he made him more of like a interesting character in a different way, like a
Yeah, agreed.
more open kind of guy.
What do we think about the relationship between Enola and Lord Man?
Like,
Well,
it was kind of just like a wholesome relationship.
yeah, they're like, well, it's more like Enola at first taking pity on Lord Man, and then she kind of likes him at the end for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I think she always did have feelings for him, but she was trying to resist the feeling because
Yeah, because she
of
was more
how her
concerned
mom
of. Yeah.
yeah, and how her mom told her that you don't need nobody.
Yes.
You make
And,
your own future.
Yes.
They put a lot of tension into like every scene they're in together. There's just like so much tension, like they're about to kiss, but like they don't.
Yeah, but nothing happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The fucking Lord guy just keeps like flirting, bro.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
You look good in breeches.
Haha.
Haha, haha, Lord guy.
Funny old
Haha,
English joke. Haha.
haha.
Stuck in
We
holy
all
jail.
abandoned our English
haha.
accents.
Oh.
Oh, oh.
Do you want to talk
And,
about Mycroft?
Oh, speaking of Mycroft, the oligarchy.
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna say, speaking of Minecraft, 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 we could tie that to the feminist message, right?
Sure.
So you want to go ahead?
Well, I mean,
Me?
back in the
Or him?
days, the women had no rights, bro.
Yeah.
Get power.
Yes.
Yep.
And the lords were in charge in the government. And because they're lords, they're rich people, therefore oligarchy
And Mycroft,
is
he's
part of the
portrayed as like
oligarchy.
a misogynist, right?
Well, in those days, being a misogynist is normal, man. Like, remember when he said, "Feminism, what is this shit?" Or she's
Yeah.
been
I
reading
can't. Hold
feminism.
on. Let me turn you up. Sorry.
When she went to his mother's room, he's like, what the fuck is this? Feminism.
Yeah.
And
And
he also mocked
go
the
ahead.
liberals. He's like, oh, fuck the liberals, man.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel like the depiction is accurate, where people think, oh, women belong in the kitchen, stuff like that. But they, particularly in the school, where the finishing school for young ladies, that was
That's right.
Oh yeah.
exaggeration. It really depicted it as kind of opposite to the message of freedom. It was just the complete opposite of freedom. Just you're locked in this room until we open the doors. You know, no one to talk
Some
to.
dude decides to marry
Just
ya.
basically jail.
They don't
And-
have no freedom at all.
And so Enola obviously, because she's told throughout the film by characters and stuff, but that like she's a woman, so she can't do anything basically. And she has to live up to the expectations set by society. And of course, she doesn't. She goes her own path, like her mother says. I think that was a pretty good feminist message. Unlike shitty movies like Mulan, which tries to but fails, I think this one did a good job on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of society,
Yeah, go ahead.
That's it.
Nice. Nothing to say, just society.
Yeah, society.
And yeah, something to say about Minecraft, but I forgot.
Minecraft?
He is a rich
Minecraft's
man.
dungeons, where he enslaves young ladies.
Oh god.
Oh no! Please don't.
Hmm.
I liked at the end bit where Sherlock's like, I'd like her to be my ward, and Michael's like, oh whatever, fuck it.
Oh, I thought that they would at the end, because they didn't have Watson, she would become like the Watson to Sherlock or something.
She became
But they didn't go that route.
man.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they're like making her like try to make her like surpass Sherlock as the next generation of detectives.
Yeah. Both Lestrade and Michael were like, how did your sister get there before you?
Yeah,
And he went, ha.
because they just keep saying that
Which is-
Enola is better
yeah.
than Sherlock.
Which is
Yeah.
it kind of annoys me though, because I like Sherlock
Are you
as
just
'cause
sexist?
Sherlock, man. No,
Yeah,
You
Sherlock
don't
seems
like
kind
seeing
of
women
they
weak
kind
in
of,
this
but
film.
they definitely like weaken him in his detective.
Yep.
Stuff.
I realize now that this entire review has been talking more about Sherlock Holmes than Enola Holmes.
See, this is Jack's fault.
Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe that
that's
says
how
something about the movie.
Yeah. True.
getting
So, yeah.
overshadowed by Sherlock Holmes.
What did you think? Did you think Henry Cavill stole the scenes?
Well, in his scene, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. If we don't have anything else to say
Weren't you gonna say
before we move on?
something about?
Oh yeah, there was
Plot
one
holes?
thing. Oh no, plot holes. Plot holes.
Yes. Shall we talk about plot holes?
Yes.
I feel like we should make this short just so we can wrap this up now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one thing we noticed, they find the suffragettes like bomb lab. It blows up because the assassin was trying to kill Enola. Enola blows him up basically. He comes back anyhow, but
Oh yeah, this
she's
guy who
like,
never dies.
true. But then she just tells Sherlock, oh, did you find the bombs? And then he's like, yes, I did. But if it all exploded, why were there any bombs?
Exactly.
Maybe traces of bombs.
Anyone can easily bullshit that, oh, there were just some like plans hidden in a filing cabinet or something that were protected from the explosion, or the bombs were covered in a casing so they wouldn't be exploded. Stuff like that, but it's just like a small plot hole that It's a little nitpicky, I guess. How about you? What about
There
you,
were
Jack?
definitely other stuff, but I can't remember. That's just the one that I comes to mind. But there were a few things that when I was watching, I was like, that doesn't make sense. But
And for like the whole thing about like, oh, why can't a knife cut through a corset? Or why does how does a like a thin piece of armor block a whole shotgun blast? They
oh yeah,
well, first of all,
actually the knife one was fine though. I think
yeah,
the knife one
definitely.
made sense.
I forgot. So yeah, someone coming into this film with no historical context, no historical knowledge, and essentially a papega is just gonna be like, "What? Isn't that just like a piece of cloth?" But yeah, we can ignore that because they're just stupid. A piece of armor protecting from shotgun pellets. Because first of all, I noticed that they alluded to the fact that these pieces of armor were bulletproof. When the guy shoots a piece of just an empty armor stand, the armor just like wobbles around for a bit.
Didn't it fall?
I didn't notice that. Interesting little detail.
I know it definitely wobbled around. Some like maybe the legs bit fell off or like the arm, but yeah,
Right.
there wasn't any like substantial damage on the metal, and that might be like a bit of a, I guess you call it foreshadowing to how. Oh, he's wearing armor. He's safe. Also, the fact that you don't see any blood come out is like, well, that's not right. He's got to be knocked out or something. Shall we get on to the final verdict, lads?
Sure.
It seems like it.
As always, well, first of all, welcome back to everyone who skipped the spoiler zone. As always, we start on the far right. Mr. Dio, take it away.
I feel like looking at the movie away from like a Sherlock Holmes adaptation perspective, more has its own story, as it is its own story, representing Enola Holmes' story. It's quite a enjoyable movie. It has its high points, high moments, and yeah, most of it's enjoyable. 7 out of 10.
All right. Mr. Patronus Gold, take it away.
I think this movie was overall quite enjoyable. We had some strong performances from Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill especially. The writing, I think, was serviceable enough for a plot. It left some of the characters a bit weak though, and too many cliches, I think. In terms of cinematography, the cinematography was pretty standard. Music-wise, that was also pretty standard in my opinion. I think the editing was actually was one of the high points of the film. Very cool and stylistic, fit with the tone of joyfulness and stuff. And the visuals in terms of CGI weren't that good. And overall, I think as its own thing, unrelated to the Sherlock Holmes universe, it's pretty good. Though I think it does disservice some of the characters, especially with what they did with not putting Watson in. So like I'd say for my score, I'd probably be giving it around a 7.7 to 7.5 maybe. But because they didn't put a Watson in, my score is a 6.5 out of 10.
All right. I want to end with a kind of a wild card, I guess you would call it. So, Supernova, would you give us your final verdict?
Well, I think the movie overall was great. Like, everything was done pretty well in a sense. And the way they built the character throughout, like built Enola Holmes, like her personalities and how she grew as a young woman was great. And with the feminist message as well, like seeing how back in the days, women had no power and trying to get a change for that. And I guess overall, I'd give it a 7.5. Good film.
Right. Good stuff. And I will end this off with, I want to call it a wild card because I've been doing plus points for feeling, plus or minus points for feeling. I'm also going to add one just for the fact that I think the music despite people thinking, I think music was a bit underrated in this film, and I would even go as far to say it was very good because it ties into what I'm gonna give for the feeling score. Created tension at the right moment, and it did that very well. And for like the fun bits with the like I guess you call it animated bits, they were done. The music fit that very well as well. So yeah, that's a plus from the music from me. And overall, I think acting, maybe other than Tewksbury, but the writing for him, as we said, was kind of underdone. Acting altogether was done pretty well. Nothing much else to say, so I'm giving it. Well, what's the average? 7.5.
The average is 7.
Average is 7. Then I'll give it an 8.
And the overall combined average for the Unholy Trinity's review of Enola Holmes is a 7.25 out of 10.
Alrighty. So overall, pretty high score.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now I know I'm the host, but can someone else do the outro because I'm shit at outros.
Thanks for watching, guys. And thank you, Mr. Supernova, for joining us today.
Thank
Please
you for
do not
having
follow
me.
twitch.tv/Patronus Gold. Please do not.
Fuck y'all. Go give Patronus Gold at twitch.tv/Patronus Gold a follow, alright? And give us a subscribe. Ring that notification bell. Slam that like button. Share that shit with your friends and stuff.
That's it. See you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.